Seamus, what are their chances?
Well, I think first of all, Graham has quite rightly pointed out that there's other kind of long-term challenges that have existed in that part of inner South Belfast that need addressed around dereliction and vacancy. That's something that I've been pushing for quite some time now. We asked the Finance Minister to remove some of the rates loopholes that exist that allow for derelict properties to sit in perpetuity because there's no kind of financial impetus on owners or developers to actually move forward with development and bring sites forward for housing and commercial development or whatever else. So that didn't happen. The Finance Minister didn't move on that. I think things are, we keep hearing from Stormont about talking about revenue raising and issues around financial pressures. I think there's also a knock-on impact in terms of the council and the ability to deliver council services, because reduction in rates income coming in will have an impact on that. We're still waiting on clarity around things like Barnett consequential support for national insurance rises. Councils need clarity on rates as we move into a rate-setting process. And again, as Graham rightly outlined, there's issues not just in Sandy Row, but also in the city centre as well, in terms of the impact of construction around Grand Central Station and that kind of general part of the city centre. So, do we start in Sandy Row and where does it stop in terms of people who might be seeking some form of rates relief?
So we started the programme, Seamus, with the DUP says no. Are the SDLP saying no?
Well, I have to say, I think we have to come back to that point as well about wider issues in the Sandy Row area. Dereliction and vacancy is a huge part of that. I also think we can't ignore what happened last summer in terms of the riots, businesses being burnt out, and businesses telling council officers that they were asked for protection money at that time. That is also a problem. I want to make sure that we don't just address the short-term issues that have arisen because of the traffic and everything around Grand Central Station, but actually that we're doing something to lift inner South Belfast, to drive investment, to drive footfall, and make sure that it's somewhere that is a kind of thriving community again. That should be the intent here, not something that is just a kind of the traffic is bad now for the year whilst this construction finishes. What happens after that? There's still going to be empty sites. There's still going to be issues around intimidation and coercive control. There's still going to be all sorts of other problems that need addressed.
But is that not Ben and Graham's argument, Seamus, that everything's been against them for the past 12 months and they need a little bit of help?
I don't think it is the magic wand to solve problems in inner South Belfast, and I think we need to make sure that we're doing our utmost to try and actually tackle the structural problems that have led to the challenges businesses in Sandy Row are facing. And it's not just the traffic that has come about as a result of the demolition of the bridge and the construction around Saltwater Square, which will hopefully bring more footfall to the area once that work is completed. Now, look, don't get me wrong, there's absolutely far more could have been done in terms of communicating what was going to happen around that work and trying to alleviate some of the pressures. And I haven't been behind the door and saying that the Infrastructure Minister needs to do more to relieve some of the traffic pressure issues in Belfast.
Yeah.
But this is always, I suppose, the trade-off with major construction is that there's going to be some disruption for some amount of time.
Okay. So, Seamus, do we need to let Ben and Graham down gently here? They have no chance.
Well, ultimately the decision is for the Finance Minister. The Executive is the place where proposals like this should be coming forward.
Okay.
But I want to see us look at a more long-term and strategic approach to dereliction, vacancy, and making sure that we don't have places like Sandy Row dying on their feet because of long-term political neglect.